Hello everyone, my name is Jason and I am an ISFP. Thank you for watching my ISFP journey. I do ask that you would please subscribe to my channel. That would be really awesome if you would do that. And if at the end of this video you've found it useful, please hit like. That would also be really cool. Thank you. Today, I want to discuss moodiness in the ISFP. Are ISFPs moody? And if so, why? I can say for myself that I definitely have a moodiness streak in me. There's no doubt about that. And I think that the bulk of my moodiness is tied to my extroverted sensing. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. I can, let's say we'll just start like a normal day. Wake up in the morning and let's say it's a day that I don't have to work, right? So wake up in the morning and I've got my day and I kind of wake up and immediately I sort of formulate in my mind anything that I want to get done for the day. I don't really plan out the whole day, but I might think, okay, there are these, like 3 things I want to get done for the day, okay? And I'm in a pretty good mood and everything's, pretty fine. Things are going fine. So I get to doing whatever it is that I need to do. And all along the way, my extroverted sensing, which is my parent function. Now, some people really just look at the cognitive functions and they say, well, you have a dominant function or a lead function, and you have an auxiliary function, and you have a tertiary function and whatnot. But there's this other concept that the functions really play roles in our mind. Okay, so like for me, introverted feeling, it's not just my dominant function, it's my hero function. And extroverted sensing is not just my auxiliary function, it's my parent function. Now, the parent function in all of us is really there to add in a measure of responsibility. So for me, my extroverted sensing as a parent function is taking in the environment around me, and it's enjoying the environment around me, but it's very quick to see what's wrong. So someone with extroverted sensing as their hero function might be more apt to just enjoy the product of their senses, right? Enjoy the sights and the sounds and everything else. Well, I can enjoy them, but I can only enjoy them if there's nothing wrong with them. The moment that I see something wrong, hear something wrong, like there's, noise cacophony over here, or there's something that needs to be cleaned up over there or whatever, that extroverted sensing parent function says, well, yes, you're allowed to enjoy this, but not until not until you clean your room, not until you do your chores. So you need to fix this thing over here. You need to fix that thing over there, right? So as long as I'm sort of free to fix it, it's not going to make me moody. So in other words, if I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, one of the things that I want to do is, make a video, right? Like, okay, today I definitely want to make a video. So then I come in here to this room where I'm going to make the video, and I'm like, that thing over there is disorganized. I need to get that cleaned up so I can get my setup made so I can make this video, right? Fine. I organize that, clean that up. I'm good to go. I can make my video. Where the moodiness comes out is when I can't fix it, when I can't organize it for some reason. So if there's something preventing me from sort of doing the cleanup or getting things in my sensory realm like I want them to be, if something prevents me from that, then I can instantly, I mean like in a second, go from, hey, everything's great, I'm having a great day, this is cool, I'm going to get some stuff done, I'm going to have a fun day, I'm happy, and then all of a sudden there's that thing over there and I know I can't fix it. And I'm instantly like, okay, now I'm frustrated. Now I'm in a bad mood. I may not rage. Now, when I was younger, I had a little bit more extroverted sensing rage in me, okay? And you'll hear people talk about extroverted sensing rage. And I know some other people with extroverted sensing high in their function stack that definitely have extroverted sensing rage. And I had it too a lot more when I was young. So when I saw something that was not right in my environment, aesthetically or sound-wise or whatever, and I couldn't correct it, I would sometimes rage. I'd fly off the handle a little bit. And I have some moments, I've never hurt anyone or anything like that, but I do have some moments in my history where I've done some things and said some things that I seriously regret, and I know that they were born out of my extroverted sensing rage because there was something in my environment that was wrong and I couldn't fix it. So now what tends to happen as I've matured and gotten older, when that happens, whenever there's something in my environment that's wrong and I can't fix it, I tend to just sulk or become upset or go off in the other room. I get frustrated, I get angry a lot of times, but I'm keeping it more to myself because I don't want to allow it to come out in a way that I'm going to regret later. Okay, so let me give you some examples of things, especially if you're an ISFP and you're watching this. I'd be curious to know if you can relate to this, but if you have an ISFP in your life, maybe you're married to an ISFP and you notice that they go from happy to sullen in like a second's notice, and you're like, why? Well, let me at least suggest to you why it happens to me. And then maybe this will make sense to you if the ISFP in your life is the same as I am. And by the way, there's a train track real close to here. So if you're hearing that loud train whistle, I apologize. Anywho, so let me give you some examples. When my children were little and it would be like, okay, we're going to go somewhere, right? It doesn't matter where, we go wherever, right? Let's say one of the kids' hair wasn't brushed, okay, properly. Brushed well. So it had tangles or knots in it. I couldn't stand that. I couldn't go out places with my child's hair like that. So it might be a situation where we're all ready to go, everything's ready to go, and then I see that, and I'm like, oh. And so then I'm faced with this dilemma, like, do we just go ahead and go anyway, or do we slow down the whole process, delay what we're getting ready to do so that the child's hair can be brushed? Or maybe, like, we'll get out somewhere, and I'll notice that one of the kids forgot to brush their teeth, right? And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And I was perfectly happy, and everything was fine. Like, it was, happy day, everything's going great, this is awesome. And then something as subtle as that, one of the kids didn't brush their teeth. Or whatever, one of the kids has a big, tear in their pants or something that I didn't even notice. And I'm talking, more when they were little. Now that they're all old, my children are older, they can handle these things for themselves. But when they were little, I would see stuff like that and I would be like, oh my gosh, how can we be out in public with our child looking like that? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, there was an embarrassment there, no doubt. And I was younger. I don't know that it would affect me to the same degree today. But I'm just kind of giving you ideas of the kinds of things that will drive me crazy. Another example. Let's say that we're going to have a fire out in the front yard, right? And like we get everything planned, and maybe I haven't been out that day. Maybe it rained the day before, okay? So the grass grew a bunch, because grass can grow really fast, at least here where I live, when it rains. You get a couple days of rain, and all of a sudden the grass is crazy. So it's like, oh, it's been raining for 2 days, and we're like, oh, tomorrow's going to be nice. Tomorrow night, let's have a fire, right? So let's just say for whatever reason I didn't go out for the, here it is 3 p.m. and I haven't even looked out the window, which is possible. And then it's like, okay, hey, let's go build the fire. And I walk outside and the grass is too tall. And I'm like, I might be all excited, like, yeah, we're going to have a fire. We're going to have friends over. Everything's awesome. This is great. I take one step outside and I'm like, the grass is too tall. We cannot have friends over with the grass this tall. I've got to get this grass cut. It will drive me insane. I will not enjoy the evening. I won't enjoy the get together. I won't enjoy the fire. And I will instantly go from, hey, I'm happy and everything's great and this is wonderful, to this is miserable. I cannot be happy. So I've got to go cut the grass. I got to cut it, and then I've got to weed eat it, and then we can start the fire. Or I can be like, hey, to my wife, do you want to get the fire going? I got to cut this grass, okay? Because that's going to make me moody. It can be the slightest thing. And it's almost always related to my senses. So I can be in a good mood, happy, everything's going great, and I catch a smell of something. Wait, what's that smell? Is there something rotten in the trash can? Now, again, if I can fix it, if I can address it and deal with it, then I'm fine. It's no problem. But if I can't deal with it, if I can't address it, I'm going to be in a bad mood. It's because my environment is not right for enjoyment, all right? My parent function is saying, do your chores before you have your fun. And here's a chore: correcting this bad smell, getting the grass cut, getting the kids' hair brushed, making sure they have their teeth brushed, whatever it is in my environment that needs to be correct has to be done first before I can enjoy whatever's going on. And I find that's very true with, all chores and work things and whatever. Like, if I have a job where I get up in the morning and I go and I work and then I come home, that's great. The work's out of the way. I can enjoy the evening. But if I have a job where I don't go until like 4 p.m. all day long, I'm having trouble enjoying my day because I'm like, no, I have to get my chores done before I can have fun, right? Well, going to work and working my job is like falls into that category of getting the chores done. So I've got to get that done first. Well, I can't do that until 4 o'clock because I don't go in until 4 o'clock. So it's hard for me to enjoy the rest of my day. So for me, my moodiness almost always comes because there is some assault on my senses and I can't correct it. And especially when I wasn't expecting it. Okay. So again, a lot of that when I was younger was based around, the kids, they didn't have their hair brushed or combed or whatever, and oh my gosh, it's driving me crazy. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop looking at it. Actually I would stop looking at it. I can't look at it because I'm like, oh, if I look at it, it's going to make me even more crazy. Whatever. So people who don't have high extroverted sensing, although it does seem like some people with high introverted sensing are pretty meticulous about their environments as well, which is fascinating, although I think it might be slightly for a different reason. But people who don't have sensing very high at all probably would think of that as being petty, ridiculous, annoying. Like, why would you be like that? Who cares? Okay, bummer. The kid's hair isn't perfectly brushed. Life will go on. And the reality is life does go on, right? I mean, here I am. My kids are way, way older and nobody died because the kid's hair wasn't brushed. But I promise you on those days, it ruined my day. It made me moody. So if you have an ISFP that seems to be in a perfectly happy mood, right? Maybe you're married to an ISFP and they're like, do, everything's great. I'm having a great day. Everything's fine. And then all of a sudden, boom, bad mood, right? You can just tell they just went sour in a moment. My recommendation to you would be, and I might be wrong, this could just be a me thing, but I have a feeling it's an ISFP thing in general. My recommendation would be figure out what it is about the environment at that moment that is bothering your ISFP and see if it's possible to help them correct it, to give them the opportunity to correct it, Now they've got to be honest with you. And this is where it really gets tough for us, or at least for me as an ISFP. You can let me know, you other ISFPs, if you agree. This is where it really gets tough for me. I know intellectually that most people are going to consider the things that bother me to be petty and ridiculous. So it's really hard to be honest, okay? It's really hard to say, well, the reason that I'm in a bad mood is because when we were driving, you were choosing the music and you picked a song I really don't like. And of course, if I admit that, then the person that I'm talking, like, let's say my wife, right? Logic tells me that she would have every logical reason to go, really? Really? You went from having a perfectly good and happy day to being in a bad mood because I played a song you don't like? Yeah, I did. Or I was in a perfectly happy mood, everything was fine, and we got ready to go out and you were wearing a shirt that I didn't like. I don't like that shirt. Of course, I've never told you that I don't like that shirt because I don't want to hurt your feelings. That's another part of being an ISFP, right? Conflict avoidance. So I'm not going to tell you that I don't like the shirt. I'm just going to let you keep wearing the shirt that I don't like, and then I'm going to be in a bad mood every time you wear it. But those are things that are really hard to admit because I can hear how stupid and petty that probably sounds to so many people. Nevertheless, it's true. I can go from being in a great mood to being in a cruddy mood in a second because of something as silly as, and I hear myself, I realize it's silly, but it doesn't seem to, my acknowledgement that it's silly doesn't seem to change anything in my mind. As something as silly as I didn't like that music, the kid's hair wasn't brushed, I don't like that shirt you're wearing, whatever. The grass isn't cut. The car isn't vacuumed. I need to vacuum this car. I'm going to go insane if I don't vacuum this car. It's got to be vacuumed, blah, 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 whatever, okay? Sensory assault. Anything that is an assault on my senses, once it has hit, if I can't correct it, it will drive me crazy. And I will go from being in a good mood to being in a bad mood like that. And I don't want to admit why I'm in a bad mood because I know most people are going to think it's petty. There it is. I laid it on the line. Do with it what you want. If you're an ISFP, please comment. Let me know if you relate. If you are not an ISFP, but you have an ISFP in your life, maybe take this into consideration. Maybe just have an honest conversation with your ISFP and say, is this true of you? Do you feel this way? Do you get in a bad mood over silly little things like this? And I don't know, if other ISFPs feel this way, but I would bet they're probably going to be like, well, yeah, actually, I do. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And I hope that you have an awesome day. Bye now.